Hi, my name is Martin Koszolko, and in this talk I'll be discussing mobile music creation tools and developments concerning the battery-powered music-making hardware, as well as the ever-growing collection of iOS apps. These tools constitute some of the most significant advances in music production technologies in recent years. Innovative and portable music-making processes allow us to leverage the latest technological developments and enhance mobile audio storytelling. Affordances of mobile tools expand opportunities of music producers and enable music creation at a rapid pace. iOS apps, in particular, offer music composers a range of tools enabling automation and streamlining of various compositional tasks. In my practice-based inquiry, I draw on my findings from two primary sources, first of which is a year-long project of curating a compilation album titled Mobile Strategies Battery-Powered Sonics, which demonstrates key trends in contemporary mobile music. This album was released on the Australian label Clan Analog in October 2019, and it includes 25 compositions from a group of international music creators and showcases mobile technologies used standalone as well as alongside other gear. The album showcases various mobile strategies ranging from a track made on a bus, one made in the mountains, to those made in fully equipped studio spaces, because mobile technologies can be used standalone as well as alongside other gear. Some tracks were recorded live in one take, and some others involved painstaking layering and editing. My research is also informed by my own creative practice, where I utilize various mobile music technologies. When I first started making music on an iPad 3 in 2012, it was obvious that the technology, although fairly limited at the time, offered a new perspective on interacting with musical instruments and generating music. While the iPad was expensive, the apps were sometimes free, and if not free, then often quite cheap. Around the same time, I discovered a very portable and also quite innovative hardware workstation called the OP1, and those two devices introduced me to new musical interfaces and new ways of making music, often on the go, or at least outside the confines of a traditional music studio. Fast forward 7 years and add a few software and hardware updates, and these types of devices are still benchmarks of battery-powered mobile music-making technologies. Machine-assisted composition is one of the distinguishing aspects of making music with iOS apps. Through a variety of features implemented in multiple apps, composers can receive assistance with the following elements of the music production process. Assistance with choosing the audio content, assistance with choosing the song title, in which case the software auto-generates an unlimited number of title suggestions, assistance with programming of MIDI patterns, and the three above features allow music makers to use generative workflows and randomization. These can be repeated until something sounds good enough to one's ears. In addition, musicians are able to get assistance with predefining the musical scale and adjustments of the graphical user interface based on the chosen scale. All of these elements significantly alter the music production process. An example of the implementation of the above processes is a composition titled Rich Machine, Birthday Train Ride One Take Phone Mix. which was produced by me during 4 short train commutes in Melbourne that took place on the same day. Using the machine-assisted composition tools has allowed me to make music at a very rapid pace and within a limited time frame. And the apps used in the process include AUM, ThumbJam, Bloxwave, and Groovebox. Despite of the involved machine assistance, this process is an exploration of how to deal with imperfection in relation to such aspects of music making as mixing, live triggering of parts, and improvisation. My aim with the time and space constraints related to train journeys was simply to create a musical composition that met certain musical genre and tonal balance objectives. What you can see in this footage is a reconstruction of the music creation process that utilizes all machine-assisted composition tools that I have mentioned previously. The time limit imposed on the process meant that editing, part triggering, live performance, and audio mixing were all done on the fly in real time with headphones on a crowded train. I have embraced the imperfections imposed by this process, prioritizing expressiveness over a highly nuanced mix. In her research into music-induced emotion, Diana Omiji argues that, quote, what could be considered imperfections, slightly irregular timing in music, for instance, are often perceived by listeners as being more expressive. Empirical research shows expressivity is a major contribution to aesthetic appeal, end of quote. Imperfections should also be seen as an important contextual element of the recording, which I tried to convey in the subtitle added to the title of the track, Birthday Train Ride, One Take Phone Mix. The mix would have sounded very different if completed on a desktop computer with an established digital audio workstation, software, and a suite of plugins. Although the context of creating a song from start to finish on my birthday during a series of short train rides would be very difficult to achieve. So this context expands the aspect of mobile storytelling and provides material that can be used to speak about the creative process on social media or press releases associated with a music package. Later this year, I am planning to release this track alongside 5 other mobile compositions on an EP titled Playing with Apps by my act called Koszolko. Other compositions on this release utilize field recordings captured and later processed with the use of a mobile phone. Titles of other tracks also reflect the context of the recording location, one example being the cicadas of Agnes Falls. In machine-assisted composition, I don't leave the opinion on how to approach the storytelling to the machine. While I choose from some of the musical elements suggested by the machine, I strive to also interject a human element of improvisation and live instrument playing, as it was demonstrated in the example of playing the trumpet part on the phone while navigating the crowd at a busy train station. The small footprint of the phone allowed me to play the instrument without being burdened by the size of the device and without having to look at it during the performance. Looking back at this process, I have listed various advantages and disadvantages of making music on the train. And now for some of the disadvantages. The process of audio storytelling has been significantly altered by affordances of mobile tools. Mobile music often relies heavily on the technological context, and the contextual information feeds into how music can be communicated to various audiences. The background of a given piece of music was also highlighted in the presentation of the Mobile Strategies album, which I mentioned earlier. To accompany the music, the label and I have created a booklet where each of the 25 artists from the record describe their creative process and influences. In the provided information, the artists often referred to the location where the recording was made, as well as the used mobile tools. Furthermore, they often outlined that their process of music making was also quite rapid, as several artists resolved to live recordings and minimal sequencing and post-production, regardless of the used instruments. As I learned through the process of producing the Mobile Strategies album, musicians sometimes choose to work within the confines of a larger ecosystem of gear and add mobile tools to a non-mobile studio setup. On the opposite side of the spectrum, there are minimalistic setups that utilize just a single mobile device and a pair of headphones. The former was evidenced in some of the material submitted to the Mobile Strategies album, while the latter has been documented by me in the process of creating the track titled Rich Machine on trains. When assessing mobile compositional and production processes in comparison to utilizing larger desktop-based systems, it becomes evident that mobile technologies offer a different creative method, which often leads to sonic outcomes that also differ from desktop-based music making. Mobile audio storytelling is frequently more rapid in comparison to using non-mobile tools, and provides a way to not only talk about the location where the creative process took place, but also to make this location a central element of the musical composition. Thank you.